Bum 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 bum. Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. You'll find the Spider-Man. Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast. Do you like comics? DC Comics, Marvel Comics, Image Comics? Who is your favorite superhero? Personally, for me, my favorite superhero is Batman, as you can probably see by looking behind me. However, for today's first episode, we will be talking about Spider-Man, Venom, and Todd McFarlane. Hello everyone, I'm Chris Vu with Thought Bubble Comics and Collectibles, swinging into action from Westminster, California, where I was born and raised in beautiful Orange County. Today is the long-awaited January 1st, 2021, so I'd like to say, Happy New Year, everyone! It's a fresh start for you, a fresh start for me, and so I hope y'all find what you are looking for. Hindsight is 2020, pun intended, so please don't punish me. But seriously, I hope you guys have a wonderful year, stay safe, and remember to wear your... I don't have to wear this during the show because you and I are properly social distance. Welcome to vlog number 1. I'd like to dedicate this first episode to my brother David. You're a great guy and I love you. 2021 is finally here and I can't believe it has already been 30 years since 1991. In 1991, Marvel Comics would insert this black box at the bottom corner of their comic books with the Fantastic Four inside of it. And in white colored fonts, it would read 30th anniversary, 1961 to 1991. I was 8 years old going on 9 at the time, and I was thinking to myself, snaps, 30 years seems like a really long time. I couldn't even wrap my head around 1961. It seemed like ancient history. And look, it just happened to me. 1991 to 2021, 30 years just flew right on by within a blink of an eye, just like that. I was born on November 9th, 1982. And so on my golden birthday, November 9th, 1991, I turned 9 on 1191991. Are you mind blown yet? But aside from that detail, it is of my opinion that 1991 was the most electrifying, exciting time to be into comic books. It was the greatest year of all time for my childhood, and it was actually the year of the GOAT. Literally, it was the only palindrome year in the 20th century. And it was the last year of the Copper Age in comic books, which spanned from 1984 to 1991. And that era was hands down the best time to become a comic book collector. That era was hands down the best time to be a kid. And so before you go on and accuse me of being biased, just hear me out. Let's go ahead and take a look at today's WWE. If you were to line up the current roster in front of me, I am not ashamed to admit that I would not be able to name one single wrestler. I would not be able to identify one single individual. Unless John Cena or Brock Lesnar is still wrestling. I'm not sure. Sorry, not sorry. However, if you want to talk about the WWF during the 1980s and 1990s, the Ultimate Warrior, the Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Ravishing Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase's entrance music was the greatest of all time. Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, The Rock, The Undertaker, Mankind. Enough said. I rest my case. Kids born in the 80s and raised in the 90s, we had it so good. We were spoiled rotten. And we were also the last generation to know how life was like before the internet, before the World Wide Web came along and started speeding everything up. And that is something special. Wizard Magazine issue number 1 debuted in September 1991. On the cover is Spider-Man with his wizard hat, illustrated by Todd McFarlane. The latest edition of the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide, Volume 50, came out 4 months ago, debuted in September 2020. The cover is also by Todd McFarlane, where he illustrates Spider-Man and Spawn together for his first time. Spider-Man and Spawn have been seen together on a cover before. 1996, Wizard Magazine issue number 62 illustrated by J. Scott Campbell. Hey, but that's exactly 29 years down to the month between these two periodicals, and that leaves me feeling so nostalgic because that means that Todd McFarlane is still cranking it out for his fans. 1988, Todd McFarlane hops onto The Amazing Spider-Man issue 298, 299, The Big 300 with Venom's official first appearance. Todd McFarlane's evolutionary art style in Spider-Man with the enlarged eyes, the spaghetti webbing, and the limbs being drawn in anatomically impossible positions propels him to the top of the ticket. And throughout 1989, Todd McFarlane absolutely crushes it on ASM, and he quickly becomes a rising star. And by the time the 1980s ended, Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man, and Venom pretty much kicks down the door, crashes right into the 90s, they light a fire right from underneath, and they blow up 1990 and 1991. It was lit, it was scorching hot, and everything was on fire! And mind you, I haven't even mentioned Jim Lee's contribution on X-Men, which we will be talking about in vlog number 2. Check this out. 1990, Spider-Man issue number 1, illustrated by Todd McFarlane, comes out. Sales shoot through the ceiling, and Spider-Man issue number 1 breaks the record and becomes the best-selling single-issue comic book of all time, north of 2 million copies sold. A few months go by, and we're now into 1991. X-Force issue number 1, illustrated by Rob Liefeld, comes out, and that book breaks Spider-Man's record when it sells north of 5 million copies. Impressed? Well, hold on there, boss, because a few more months go by after that, and in the very same year, X-Men issue number 1, illustrated by Jim Lee, comes out, and that book sells north of 8 million copies. And it still currently holds the record for being the best-selling single-issue comic book of all time till today. 1991, I was there to experience the phenomenon. I was at the epicenter when all of the madness and all of the pandemonium was coming down. It was an amazing time to be a kid. Folks, we have a great show for you today. Lots of Spider-Man, lots of Venom. I have a vast collection that I need to put into the vault, and since this is our first time together, let's go ahead and set the bank balance to $0 because throughout the course of this vlog series, we will be bulking up the bank and increasing Boo's vault value. It's now sharing time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the simpler items and we'll gradually work our way on up to the higher end items, the heavy duty top shelf stuff. So if you were purchasing comic books through the mail in the early 1990s and your subscription was about to expire, there was a good chance that Marvel would send you this coupon to remind you to subscribe and save. I can't believe that I still have this in its original poly bag. How can I possibly claim to be an 80s kid if I don't have any VHS tapes to show for it? Here is another VHS tapes. Lizards, lizards everywhere. That's a lot of lizards. For the action figure fans, I have Spider-Man. And where there's Spider-Man, there's also Venom. I also have some Venom temporary tattoos. And Marvel Universe Series 2 trading cards. I have the collector's tin still in its original shrink wrap. It's a limited edition, and so this is 1935 out of 7,500. I have the Spider-Man 67 collection. 6-disc DVD set, still in its original shrink wrap. This here is my favorite poster of all time. Illustrated by Todd McFarlane, of course. This isn't a poster, but I guess you can use it as a poster. It's a sticker. that has never been peeled. I think it's really rare. Another Todd McFarlane piece. This is a standee of Spider-Man swinging through a black and white New York City skyline. Here is Marvel Legends Icons, Spider-Man. Maskless Spider-Man or Peter Parker. And maskless Venom, Eddie Brock with a really wicked tongue. We have a statue based on the art of John Romita Sr. from 1990. It looks more like a cookie jar lid. This is a children's bank. It has more juice than the cookie jar lid. There is a Spider-Man vs. Venom diorama from Sideshow. And right off the cover of ASM 316 is Venom vs. Spider-Man, a Todd McFarlane classic cover from 1989. This here is my favorite Spider-Man statue. It's very Todd McFarlane-esque. You can tell by looking at the eyes. We have Green Goblin's glider here, some pumpkin bombs, and Dr. Octopus's mechanical arm at the base there. Looks really cool. And this here is the big daddy of the bunch, Venom. I think it's really rare. Also very Todd McFarlane-esque. It complements the last statue very well, actually. I love this statue. And since we have been talking about Todd McFarlane a whole lot today, you might be wondering, have I ever met him? The answer is yes. I met him in Arizona at his Spawn 301 signing event on October 26, 2019, and I brought along his book, The Art of Todd McFarlane, The Devil is in the Details, and he signed the inside cover. Right there. Pretty sweet, huh? Big fan of this guy. He's really nice too. And this here is a clipping from the back pages of ASM 350 in 1991. It's worth nothing, but I just like it. It's Spider-Man split down the middle by the spaghetti webbing. The traditional red and black costume is illustrated by Eric Larson, and the symbiotic black and white costume is illustrated by Todd McFarlane. Alright, so we started out the sharing at $0, and over the collectibles that we have gone over today, what is the new Boo's vault value in our year opening vlog series premiere? Over $4,000! Please do keep in mind that Boo's vault value is only a ballpark aggregate because pricing is always subjective. The true price of anything is what somebody is willing to pay for it. Todd McFarlane and Marvel Comics, thank you so much for Spider-Man, Venom, and for enriching my childhood. It has most definitely been quite the adventure over all these years, and this journey is priceless to me. And this concludes vlog number 1. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. And once again, Happy New Year! And I hope you all found what you were looking for. If you enjoyed this video, please like it by clicking the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on a different platform, also please like it and share it with your friends. It helps the channel grow. Your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast appreciates you, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again in the next vlog. See you soon. Bum 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 bum! Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catch a flute. Spins a web any size, catches flute. I'm your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast. Oh shit. I'm your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast. Oh, this fucking thing. I'm your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast. I'm your friendly neighborhood comic book enthusiast. Chris, fuck man. So remember, keep working hard, have fun, and be happy.